Hello and welcome to Content and Coffee, where we talk about the latest buzz in content and drink some coffee with creatives. Today I am delighted to have the marvellous Heather Hulbert here with me. And Heather, you are absolutely killing it this year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
It's always a pleasure. So Heather and I have worked together for a couple of years now. We first met when we were networking together on MNC, I think is where we first met. But we didn't actually get to meet in person until a couple of months ago.
I know, it's like 2 years or down the line. It seems mad in this, that's what happens now. You network on Zoom and then you don't meet for 2 years, but you feel like you've known each other forever.
Yeah, you build these amazing friendships and then you're like, oh, look, you do look like that in person. It's amazing. But since we met, 2-3 months ago, we've met each other. So we spent an awful lot of time together.
I know. Bit sick of me now.
Yeah, never. But it is amazing what a year you've had, you know, and I've been an admirer of your work since the very beginning anyway. And we worked together on a couple of websites, didn't we? And I just remember thinking, wow, okay, this girl has attention to detail, like your styling is amazing, and you got the functionality, and you're great to work with, so bonus. So it makes sense then that you won the Website Designer of the Year award at the Digital Women Awards.
I did, thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of a whirlwind the last few months and still a little bit in shock, you know, but having only really started the business a couple of years ago, and to now be in a position where I'm working with amazing people like yourself and collaborating and winning an award, and I'm up for another one this week, so we'll find out.
I was gonna say that's only the first, the first of many to come, I think. So how did it feel when you stepped up there and got to hold your trophy?
Completely. I wouldn't say overwhelming, just disbelief. Like, hang on a minute, you picked me, my name, and then you get the whole the shakes and emotions explode. But just so proud that it was judged, it wasn't voted by the public, so it's not like it's a popularity contest or anything. So just having that validation, I think is the word, that actually I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing. I did make the right decision by going self-employed, because that's a scary, position to be in anyway when you start your own business.
And I guess we started around about the same time as well, didn't we? And it is, it is a big challenge when you go out on your own and you kind of wait to make that decision until the last minute, don't you? What was it that finally kind of thrust you into the freelance space?
Having my kids, to be fair. I'd been employed for 8-9 years doing website design, and then had twins in 2018. So double trouble. And then actually my job got moved whilst I was on maternity up from an hour's drive in Surrey right up to London, and it just wasn't going to work. The distance was too much with the 2 young children, juggling the childcare and everything. So I was like, you know what, if I'm never going to do it, I need to be around for them, because you never know when they're going to be sick. Twice as more likely with twins. So I just took the plunge and went freelance, and kind of the rest is history, really.
Amazing. And 2 years later, you're an award winner and juggling the kids all the same.
Yes.
So it's amazing what can be done when you set your mind to it, isn't it?
Definitely.
So how has it been having twins and running a business at the same time?
Oh, it's been crazy, as you would expect. But it's getting easier now they're older, because they're at school now, so I've got those set hours that I can work whilst they're at school, rather than having to juggle through nap times and work in the evenings and then not get much of a break myself. So it's definitely getting a lot easier now.
We're quite lucky as working in the creative space that we do have a bit of flexibility with that timing, don't we?
Yes.
We can do the meetings in the day and then crack on with our work in the evening as well, can't we?
Exactly. It's just making sure that you actually turn the laptop off sometimes and do switch off from work, because as I'm sure you're aware, it's hard to switch off, because I could just do that a little bit more and I could just do a little bit more, and then you end up just spending all night watching telly and doing work when actually need some downtime too.
That's it, and that is something we worked really hard on at the retreat that we were at very recently, isn't it? We did what's called a Woo and Wisdom retreat. It's run by the marvellous Lou McGarriger, who is a coach. and she helped us get into that space where we really focused on ourselves and really grounded ourselves and gave ourselves the time to slow down. That's something that I find I really struggle with, running a business and running a creative business where you're doing all of the doing as well. You're just constantly frantic like that, aren't you?
Yep. Yeah. Always something to do on the to-do list, and then playing catch up and everything. It's just the juggle. And yeah, like you say, we need the boundaries that actually, if a set day that you don't answer emails or you don't have meetings, sticking to it, because actually it protects your own space and your own energy.
Yeah, space. What space? Got kids and we run businesses.
Well, I know.
So we've both been working for about the same time in our businesses. What are some of the big things that you've learned about running a business in the last 2 years?
I think reaching out to people when you want to work with other people, and don't just have it all on your head. So like copywriting, it's not my strength, so why would I try and do everything on a website design? I would reach out for people who are more expert in that area, and then you're going to get a better product at the end of the day, aren't you? So
100%
collaboration
agree with that.
is brilliant, and it's been amazing to do that, and yeah. And outsource. If you don't want to do the admin, get rid of it.
Exactly. But also that's so much what the Content Hive is about. It's about really leaning on, like, allowing creatives to focus on their expertise so that we can all work together to create the best possible product at the end of the day as well, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing here today as well, is we were filming for the Content Hive. So Heather is one of the core members of the Content Hive. And the Content Hive is essentially a collaborative of different creatives working together on a rolling basis to support clients to deliver consistent content. And Heather here is a website developer, but also you do branding, you do design, UX, all of that stuff as well, don't you?
Yes, I'm a bit of a weird anomaly in the fact that sometimes you get designers who just like do the art stuff and the design, and they don't want to touch the code, whereas I like the design, I love it, and it's that expression, but then I like the techie code and making it work, and when it doesn't work, fixing it. So yeah, I'm this weird tech creative fairy godmother I often get asked called.
We get to bring out our geeky side, don't we? Yeah, it's good. I like that too. Yeah, I'm a bit of a word geek, so it's all the same. And so what have you found has surprised you most in your journey so far in the last couple of years?
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm not so sure, actually. What surprised me? I think actually that I need more belief in myself, and the whole imposter syndrome. So many people have that, especially as being self-employed. But I've had to work hard on that for myself, because 2 years ago I was quite nervous and didn't. I had only just started networking. I didn't know anyone, but the thought that like I might be winning an award one day or do something like this, with other people. That it's I think, working on your mindset is so important all the time. How
have you done that then? Tell me a bit about how you've worked. Because you have had an amazing journey. I remember seeing you in some of those first networking meetings, and I was like, I need to talk to that girl. but you then, compared to you now, is unbelievable.
Completely. I don't recognise that person. Yeah. And actually I started working with a coach, Lou McGarriger. She's awesome. Yeah.
Just pitching for Lou at the moment.
But she really helped me find Heather, and that's what I said to her when I started working with her, is that actually at that point I'd been mum for so long, I'd almost lost my identity in my career, because where I'd gone from being employed, knew my place in a team, to just being me, and wanting to find me again and find that inner confidence and work on that. And we did a 6-month program. It was amazing, and it honestly is really put me on a good level to then continue to grow personally and in my business and my life. And you just got to keep on working at yourself, haven't you?
Imposter syndrome is just one of those things that it's ridiculous, isn't it? When you think about it, you're Like I have it all the time, and I'm like, I've worked for like 20 years in content. Why am I still questioning my ability to do content?
I know, right?
why am I questioning my writing? Like that is what I do all the time. But you just do, yeah. You see other people get a lot of comparativitis. I think that's what it's called now. Yeah.
I'm trying not to do that too much because it is so easy. But
do you spend much time on social media?
Yes, I do.
What's your go-to social media?
Instagram or Facebook groups. Not necessarily not Facebook feeds, but the groups that I'm in where I've met networking women and other people who are all supportive and helping in like the self-employed community, rather than just scrolling Facebook and all the rubbish you see on it. And then Instagram just for sharing, for finding content, or following people and stuff. I think those are my two go-tos.
Tell me about where you get some of your inspiration then. So say you get a client who wants something for their website, they want their website to look a certain way. What would you do? What would be your process?
I would always start with like, not necessarily competitive research, but seeing who else does stuff in their field of work. Because it might be that I've never worked with someone in that field. So I actually need to learn about what they do a bit more. So I do a bit of research into others in the local area and also in the wide world. But then also in Pinterest for inspiration when I'm looking at branding and colours and photos and stuff. And I'll also get them to do the homework too. So they'll create a Pinterest board of stuff that they like. And then we end up like marrying it up and doing all that background research, because you can't just go straight in with creating a design for someone. It's not cookie cutter. It's got to be specific to their needs and their brand, their vision, their values, and everything like that.
Yeah, and it's good that you said it's not cookie cutter, because there are a lot of website development platforms that make people believe that it's easy as pie to make a website, but there's so many ways that doesn't work for the client, right? So say you get like a Wix website or a Squarespace website. They just don't have the power, they don't have the SEO power, they don't have, they don't have all those skills that sit behind a really decent website.
Exactly. Yeah. And it could just be that they're sticking their own colours on something else that someone else has got. It won't be completely unique to them and truly represent them and their business. So it's all well and good starting off like that, because as we all know, when we start out, budgets are tight. So if it gets you on the web, I'm all for that. I'm not anti them entirely. But if you then want to level up after a few years, I think investing in someone who's got the experience and expertise is 100% the way to go.
So what was the inspiration behind your brand?
Oh, I'm not very good at naming my own things. So I'm literally like Heather Hulbert Designs. It is what I do.
You've got
the
pink, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the colours, actually initially what you see now isn't what I started out with. As with most companies, you start with something, don't you? And then actually go, doesn't quite fit. My clients are coming in and it feels a bit different. So I think I just started with navy blue and hot pink, so I had that contrast between the two. And actually now, after 9 months, I was like, nope, I'm not feeling that. I'm going to rejig it up. So I think even as a designer, it's important to look at your own branding and make sure it's still reflecting you. But now it's like hot pink, it's lavender, mints, you get a bit of yellow because you've got the sunshine, the bright colours, the mix and match and stuff.
And so you're talking about colours, and a lot of people think that brand is just about a colour or like a logo design. But when it comes to implementing brand on a website, that's a whole thing in its own, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Because like you said, exactly what you just said, like a logo isn't just the brand, it's everything. It's the values that you believe and stand by. It's your personality, it's your reputation, your reviews, your testimonials. When you're putting all that together, it has to work on the website, so that no matter where they find you and all your touch points, whether it be your printed media with business cards and flyers, the social templates you put out, the stories, and your website, if there's a mismatch and it feels really jarring to your potential clients, so making sure that you get all of that onto your website and you still present your personality through your website, through your content, through your photography, it's really, really important.
That is such a good point about consistency across all platforms. And I loved what you said as well about like combining like the testimonials. Every little bit of the website should represent your brand really, really well. And that's something that I, as a copywriter, work really hard on doing as well, creating that kind of content journey that feeds all the way through the website. And I think that's something that can get lost on clients sometimes. I think they often don't well, they don't consider it because why would they? You know, it's not something that they think about. But yeah, every single part of it is really important, and bringing it all together, which is why, again, like having the Content Hive, I find it so useful having everyone on the same lines and working towards the same goal as a project team as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are the exciting things coming up for you?
Oh, other than the Content Hive.
Other than the Content Hive, obviously.
I've got some new clients. I think they're starting next year. Again, just starting with the branding and stuff. But I think I want to start doing some more education pieces next year. So teaching clients, non-clients, how they can get themselves started with their websites, but not necessarily potentially working with a designer, but what are things that they should be looking out for. Like how to get your website started on WordPress, the basics of user experience and things like that, that actually, as an education piece, it would help them. And even like, yes, we talked about Canva before, but actually, it's not just a case of sticking a photo up, picking a font that day and putting a content out on social media. It's having the consistency with your brand, using the same fonts throughout, same colours, the same types of images, and just educating them like that. So I think that's where I want to go next year.
Excellent. And you mentioned earlier about how it's really important as a brand designer, as a website developer, to really reassess your brand as you go through. I think I'm going to probably have to do that as well, so I'll probably be picking up the phone.
Anytime.
Absolutely. Well, Heather, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy speaking with you, and I wish you all the best with your awards. Obviously, I voted.
Amazing.
Excellent. And yeah, we'll be working together very soon.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So that's all from us. If you want to find out more about the Content Hive or any more of our hints and tips from our creatives, please check out our YouTube channel or go on bigbeecontent.com.